part of what I want people to understand is, and something I hear a lot too, is a lot of women, I'm gonna move to Atlanta and be a realtor. I'm gonna move to Dallas and be a realtor. Explain to them a little bit of that realtor game that is not just it's not just being pretty on Instagram and
So I'm glad you asked me that. So didn't I get in trouble with you before? The last interview you did, you asked me about wholesaling and people got mad at me, right? So I'm sure I'm gonna probably upset some people with this, but let me keep it real with you guys. And shout out to my people in the chat from VA. Me and my wife actually been looking at Norfolk and
I
Virginia,
don't
different
get up
areas.
out of there. Get up out of there.
Right? So I got to get out that way. But listen, the real estate game. You guys remember when the economy crashed back in 04, 05, 06? There were a lot of people getting into education. You saw people leaving banking. You saw people leaving the corporate and becoming teachers. Why is that? Because they saw an opportunity. They said, well, in a bad economy, teachers will always have a job. And see, my wife is an educator, and we talk about this all the time. She said, these are the people who don't really love the craft, but they need to make that check, right? And so you saw an influx of teachers, right? And then you start seeing kind of fizzle down when the economy came back. People started leaving the profession, and then it started dying off. That's what real estate is. When I got into real estate back in 04, 05, having a real estate license was like, having a golden ticket, and it wasn't the easiest thing to get, But now real estate license is like, it's like they come a dime a dozen. And what happens is you get a lot of people that see the glamour in real estate. They see, oh, this guy sold a $300,000 house and he made $9,000 on it. Like in their mind, we get a client. The client calls us. They say they want to buy a $300,000 house. We meet them at the house. We show them the house. They love it. They make an offer. The very first offer is accepted. And 30 days later, they get a $9,000 check and then they rinse and repeat. That's not how it works. There's so much that goes into that process, even after you get the contract, the house under contract, that a lot of people just don't understand. And that's why real estate is a revolving door. I've heard the term, you have a third of the people coming into real estate, a third of the people who are actually working, and a third of the people who are leaving real estate, right? So in 15, 16 years, I've literally done deals with the same people over and over because there's so many people that come in and out. You understand? So my advice to anyone getting a real estate license, if we're going to keep it a buck, is treat it like a full-time job, not like a thing, because them thing people, they're killing the game. They're hurting the game right now. They come in and they don't know how to cold call, or they don't know how to close a deal. So they reduce their value. So instead of charging this rate, they'll charge this extremely low rate. And then people take advantage of you when you do that. And then they set a precedent for everyone else, and it just becomes really muddy. So that's one of the reasons why, from a sales standpoint, I've been really looking like, is this something I want to be doing for the next,
Yeah. Hi, my name is Annette Worth, and I've been able to teach over 200 students, beginners, how to get started investing in the stock market. My first course, Stock Market Course for Beginners, easily teaches you how to read a stock chart so you know when to purchase a stock on sale. My second course is How to Build a Winning Watch List. This is how you know which company you should be investing in, what makes up a good company. You'll be able to read a stock chart, know when to purchase a stock, and know which companies to pick. Investing in the stock market isn't hard, we just wasn't taught about it in school. The hardest part about building wealth is just getting started. Are you ready to start today? Click the link in the bio or go to annetsworth.com to enroll today.
At the point that when I was down here in Austin, I got my real estate license, I'm like, yeah. And I was doing apartment locator. I'm like, but then I was like, this is a sales job. And this is what people don't really understand, that this is a sales job. You're going to be calling daily. You're going to be following up. And for me, just keeping it 100, I'm an inbound marketing person. I like people to come to me, right? I want to send an email out and people come to me. And that's when I knew, when I was talking to somebody in the office, they're like, well, honey, either you need to be a listings or you need to hire somebody to do all this other stuff for you. And of course you don't got that money to do that. So then, and that's why people do those teams, right? Because everybody on the team ain't doing the same thing. But yeah, that Gary Keller, the shift book, and also the one thing I was like, it's spot on. It's spot on. People get excited about being a real estate agent because they think that means dressing up nicely and driving your car and showing a house. They forget the whole other part of sales. That
you get the grind, the sales. My wife, never forget my wife, when she first came and started working with me, because she's an educator. So during the summers, she helped me out, right? And she even helps me out now. I'll never forget that first day she came to my office and worked, and she said, I cannot believe that you have to do all of this for one transaction. This is the good transaction. This is one of the open and shut cases, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much stuff. There's so much things that you need to learn, negotiations. And also, anybody listening to this, whether it's real estate or anything, your inner circle, your friends and family, they're not going to be the ones that's going to get you there, right? You got to step out. I've gotten probably more referrals from Erica than I've gotten from family members, right? It just is what it is. People don't see you as a professional. They see me as Timmy, right?
15-year-old Tim. 15-year-old Tim.
Right?
Yeah.
And it takes for me to, now, it's people that have known me in the game for 16 years that I love my family. Now they're starting to say, you really doing this real estate thing, right? And it's like, well, yeah, I guess I am, right? Because I had to get validated because I guess they see me, right? So for those who are coming into the game, like, go meet new people and grind, but don't expect for the people closest to you to get you where you're trying to get.
And so, and part of what I think we have such a bad connotation on the word sales and being a salesman or a saleswoman. That's what happens. People get real mad when they get in real estate. Like, oh, you use somebody else. Like, does your family see you day in and day out doing this? Then they ain't going to use you. Right. They're not. They still gonna have somebody else.
Borderline annoying, right? It's got to be one of them things where, they gotta. What I would suggest somebody doing is somebody save your number, your family member, tell them change the name in your phone to such and such realtor or such and such agent. So every time they look at that name, even on a text message, subconsciously they think of you as that way. Like it's a lot of deep stuff you got to do to really get people to see your worth, particularly the ones closest to you. But the real estate market is good here. Agents are making money. The ones that I'm seeing that's struggling are the ones that are afraid to get out there and get their hands dirty.
I would say one of the best things I saw in Austin was we had several of our friends in the Christian young singles groups. You got a bunch of people 20 to 40 years old. They dating, they moving, they want to buy a house, and we had like 3 people who were agents, and they just cleaned up in all those groups, right? Yeah. And then when they were done selling in those groups, it's like they didn't have anybody else to sell to. So it's like they had a great 2-year career, and then it was like, hey, well, how's it going? Man, it's a struggle this year. And so you do really have to market yourself. People don't understand that part.
And they need to understand also that we don't talk about a lot when we have these conversations is that debt is a deal breaker. You know what I'm saying? Like people need to understand if you're really trying to get out there and put yourself in a position, whether it's to buy a house, to buy a truck, to start a business, you can't get ahead if you got a bunch of debt. And we don't really talk about that enough in our community. A lot of times I can't tell you all how many people come to me on a monthly basis like, Tim, I want to buy a new house. And we sit down and we look at their numbers and everything. And I said, well, damn, you just bought a new car. The car is $600 a month. That's going to take away from your debt to income ratio, right? So now you can't buy another house unless you make another extra $600 a month or you get rid of that car. You can't buy another house. You see what I'm saying? Unless you bring somebody in on the deal. And that's the number one conversation I have. Like the people that come back to me with no debt. I got a client. He literally has no debt. In the last 5 years, he bought a house for 120, ended up selling it for 205, had 2 roommates in the house. So he was taking their $900 a month, applying it to the principal. So he ended up walking away with like $100,000. Then he goes and buys another house in a great area in Dallas near White Rock Lake. That's like top prime real estate for like $200,000 because it needed over $100,000, about $70,000 worth of work.
Hey everybody, this is DJ the Money Coach coming to you to celebrate our victories with the Classy Climb. Over 9,000 views, over 400 people attended the 2 webinars, over 200 people downloaded the Family Finance 101 curriculum. That's 3 hours, 18 modules, teach you how to get your credit score 30 to 60 points higher in 60 days. Teach you how to become consumer debt free, pay yourself first, open a corporation, and leverage the tax laws through businesses, real estate. And to prove how that works, I've done it. And we'll do it for you with the digital family finance booklet. We'll give you a bonus complimentary consultation worth $1,200 with me and 2 other our team members. We'll also give you this bonus webinar, but you got to hit the link now for the Black Friday special, and we will help you win in 2021. Hit the link. Come join us.
but he knows people that do the work. I saw somebody there that told me, Tim, you need to hug a plumber, right? He knows plumbers, he knows carpenters, he knows these people. So he's able to go in there and buy it because he doesn't have a car note. He doesn't have debt, right?
Mhm.
We need to put ourselves in a position where we start eliminating our debt. If we can eliminate our debt, we could do so much more, because when opportunity comes about, we can either A, have the cash on hand, or B, have the debt to income ratio to obtain a loan, a short-term loan, because we want to get that mother paid off fast so that we can acquire it. All it takes is that one acquisition, you guys. One acquisition can change your entire life. One acquisition changed my life, okay? Literally, me and my wife flipped the house, and that changed our life, okay?
Yeah.
So that's all it takes. But we were able to do that because we had no debt. Her car was paid off. I didn't have a car note. So that's $1,200 a month right there. You see what I'm saying? And so,
listen,
yeah.
A little stat that, because when you just said about that one transaction can change your life, 45% of our GDP is construction, real estate, and healthcare, but it's only 6% of stocks, the stock market.
Right.
What people don't understand is, like, when you talk about old money, big money, consistent money, you talking about real estate, you talking about you know what I'm saying? It's just like whether you either fixing a house or you selling and buying the houses or you owning the houses. And people kind of miss that whole part of real estate. Really long term is where the money at. I mean, we got a $30 trillion wealth transfer over the next 8 years, and they've already said 30% of it's going to go to family offices. So
I want to say something. I see a lot of people commenting the debt, about the debt. Shout out to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're in a national. Everybody's in a pandemic, right? Is that fair to say?
Yep.
I'm interviewing. You're interviewing me. I'm in my home right now, but I have an office.
Living your best life.
You've been to my office, right?
Yeah.
You've been to my office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is my office a small office?
No. Tim got a whole floor, y'all. No, almost do. He almost do.
So the point I'm making is, regardless of how the economy is, I'm still in debt. I still have to pay that rent, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just doubled the size of our office. You saw it before. You see it now, right?
Now he got a whole floor. He had half the floor.
And nobody's coming into the office right now. So I'm literally having to foot that bill. I've talked to every attorney I know, and they're like, Tim, you can't really get out of this unless you file bankruptcy. because when I started my business, it was just me and my business. I was the only person, so I had to sign a personal guarantee. Where am I going with this? Where I'm going is that because I don't have debt, it's not killing me at all. And it's not really eating into my reserves either.
Speak on it.
Let me say it again, because I don't have debt, it's not killing me and it's not eating into my reserves because I've already planned for this. You see what I'm saying? So if y'all are listening to me, like if you don't listen to anything I'm saying, I'm not a money hungry person. I'm not going to sell you what we call here in Dallas. I ain't going to sell you no wolf tickets and make it seem like we're doing this and doing that. If you don't listen to anything I'm saying, put yourself in a position to where you can increase your input by decreasing your output. That's what me and my wife did. I teach that concept all the time. You'll hear me say it all the time, increase by decrease, literally going through your bank account, going through your bills and saying, what can I afford to eliminate now so that I can get rid of my monthly debt? That way I can start to take more financial chances. And when you have that extra money, when you know you have an investment that's going to bring you $3,000 in the next month, you'll take that chance. You'll be like, oh, that's cool. We'll make it up next month. But a lot of us aren't in that position because all of our wealth that we're acquiring or that we have on paper is really debt.
Hey, Classy Climbers, have you ever thought about starting a family bank? If so, you would want to join us at familybankchallenge.black. That's familybankchallenge.black. We have all sorts of resources with regards to you learning about what a family bank is, how to structure it, how to create 100-year family wealth plans, and so much more. So, familybankchallenge.black to learn more information.